Ahoy, music lovers, vinyl enthusiasts, and everyone in between. I'm Isaac, this is The Blind Island, and today we're going to be hitting you up with another vinyl review. And I am drinking the Personal Oasis, Knuth Brewing Company's Alexander Pilsner. Very, very good stuff. Brewed about 5-10 minutes from where we live here in Green Lake in Ripon, Wisconsin. And fantastic. If you're ever in the area, make sure to pick up a little bit of that. But today we're going to be taking a look at an album that I have liked in the past, but it just recently got a vinyl pressing, the very first vinyl pressing it ever has received. And just re-listening to it, I've realized this is a classic, and that is I, Jonathan by Jonathan Richman. To give a little background information on this, Jonathan Richman was the founding member and lead vocalist for the group The Modern Lovers. They were a huge impact on the proto-punk movement. Jonathan Richman was obsessed with the sound of the Velvet Underground, and when you listen to those early recordings, you can hear Lou Reed and John Cale's fingerprints all over that. It is hard-hitting and hard-pounding. However, what you'll notice in those lyrics when you listen to the Modern Lovers is this romanticism and nostalgia and innocence that was really missing in Velvet Underground recordings. Then Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers kind of broke up. It was released as a compilation years after it had been recorded in 1976, and people loved it. He did reconvene the Modern Lovers under Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers, but the sound was completely different. He decided to follow his muse into a completely different direction than the hard-hitting proto-punk that was found on those early recordings. He started making songs about birds in the fields and going to the soda shop and basically sock hops. He was obsessed with the music of the 50s and 60s. He even wrote, I can't remember the name of the magazine, but he wrote a magazine basically trashing them for their incredibly harsh review of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. So even though he didn't have a voice that was very similar to those very sweet melodic singers, he obviously had a very, very soft spot in his heart for that style of music. So let's fast forward a little bit in time. This is 1992. This is Jonathan Richman's fourth solo album, and this is where things just kind of all come together. It's a perfect storm, perfect stew. He's come out with a lot of really fun, quirky albums before this, but this is the one where he just really seems to see the way and direction that music is headed. Grunge music and alternative rock was really in full swing. People like Kurt Cobain were the new voice of the generation. And I think that Jonathan Richman saw the musical landscape and decided to make something that was completely antithetical to it. And other than going with his CBGB forerunners like Talking Heads and Devo, pushing his music into weirder and stranger places, he actually stripped it down further and further. So on this record, Jonathan Richman writes songs about about parties in people's backyards, about relationships that are strained, why he loves the Velvet Underground so much, about meeting people and falling in love and feeling wistful and nostalgic for times of your youth, but also keeping a wry eye on why you're feeling nostalgic for that. And if I have to get further into the music, again, it's incredibly stripped back, stripped down, with acoustic guitars, a little bit of electric guitar, hand clapping, congas, a really, really nice feeling record. The main thing that I love about this is the track listing. He has impeccable choices choices of how the album flows, and that to me is just a huge thing for a record. If you can have a good arc, then I am on board all the way through, and he does that impeccably through this. He starts off the album on a huge, big note with parties in the USA, and while it doesn't have a big sound, he is just inviting everybody to come to the party, and not just come and, you know, act cool around each other, but really to talk, enjoy each other. He asks questions like, I know that we can't go back to the 60s and all just have a beach party, but why can't we? Why can't we just have fun? We need more parties here in the USA. We need to actually connect with one another. And then he goes into a Dick Dale style surf song with Tandem Jump, and then from there goes into You Can't Talk to the Dude, which is about basically disconnect in modern romance. It was really, really interesting. Velvet Underground is a really lovely song about it's a paean to why he loves the music of the Velvet Underground, even though I would say that Jonathan Richman is the anti-Reed. He is the Batman to Lou Reed's Joker. He's all about good times and living a life without substances. But he just explains that basically the Velvet Underground to him represented freedom and different sounds and being weird and just enjoying yourself. And he even spins off in the middle of that song into a little snippet of Sister Ray, which again is one of the most antithetical Jonathan Richman songs about an orgy of transvestites. But the fact it works, it just works, it's incredible. And then of course you come to his what most people know him for is I Was Dancing in the Lesbian Bar, and it's basically just about the joy of dancing together and alone with people and not caring what other people think, just enjoying that time together. And it moves on into other anecdotes about his life, but to me the greatest song on here is That Summer Feeling. And That Summer Feeling is basically, in a nutshell, about looking back on those summer days and nights when you were young and thinking about those memories, but also wondering why do we throw such a rose-colored lens on those, because are we really pining for, you know, fresh cut grass and our first love's kiss, or are we pining for the youth that we had and that everything was possible and in front of us and that nothing seemed impossible at that time? He says you're going to start literally pining for days in 4th grade, 1st grade. It's just and then he sums it up with a melancholy bow saying that summer feeling is gonna haunt you one day in your life. And I just, it is so good. This record, I can't really sing its praises enough. Talked about the music, the songs, the background, and if I have any criticisms whatsoever, it's that maybe the production value isn't going to rock everybody, but again, for me, there are no criticisms. This is a classic, and it should be in everyone's collection. If you're a fan of just really sincere, honest singer-songwriting, and this is truly innocent, honest, beautiful music, then you need to listen to this. I give this one an easy 5 out of 5. So guys, have you ever listened to I, Jonathan by Jonathan Richman? What are your thoughts? Are there any other records by him and the Modern Lovers that you love? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I hope that you guys have a great day on your own personal oasis. Cheers.